Hello everyone. Today we're going to be discussing the importance of maintaining a healthy parent-child relationship. We'll be touching on why it's essential to establish clear boundaries with our children, how do we set these boundaries, and what are the benefits of setting these boundaries. As I was working on this assignment, it hit me that I have been a mom for 24 years. The 2 a.m. feedings, the seemingly endless diapers and toys throughout every room of the house. It was a very busy, crazy, chaotic time. And I didn't give a lot of thought to a lot of things during that time because I was so busy. But there was one thing that I always was aware of. And that was the fact that I was raising and am raising future mothers and dads and future members of our community. In today's society, the lines of what it means to be a parent have been blurred. One-on-one time with our kids is being replaced by screen time. It's more important to entertain our kids than actually equip them to be able to be productive members of our society. Ann Douglas, she wrote a book called Mother of All Parenting Books. And she says that video games, music videos, and the internet are causing sex and violence and other inappropriate material to show up on the screens of younger and younger children. And my question is how are our kids supposed to know what is appropriate and what is not, what is acceptable and what is not, unless they have boundaries? So, Jim Taylor, Dr. Jim Taylor, he wrote a book called Your Children Are Listening. And he talks about consistency. He says consistency is so important because your child's trust in you is based on you creating a consistent, predictable world. Now, having limits and boundaries and consistency, it reduces anxiety and stress in a child. Why? Because they know exactly where that line is. They know exactly what they can do and what they cannot do. Having boundaries and limits does not mean you're the mean parent or you're so unfair. It's just that you're actually showing your kids, you're teaching your kids that the world doesn't revolve around them. And in the real world, there are boundaries and there are limits. So, one of the ways that I set boundaries with my kids and taught them things when they were little was I would, let's say that their room was a mess. I would give them small jobs. So when they were real little and the room was a mess, I wouldn't say to them, just go clean your room. That would frustrate your kid. Well, we want to teach our kids responsibility. We don't want to frustrate them. So I would actually go in there and work with them. We would clean and hang up the clothes and organize the toys. We'd work together. So by the time that they were older and I would say to them, go clean their room, they knew what that meant. Another thing, as we set small age-appropriate jobs for our kids, you wouldn't send a 3-year-old to unload a dishwasher. That could be dangerous. But when my kids were younger, I would make a game of it. And I would say to them, okay, can you find all the spoons? Can you find all the spoons and give all the spoons to mommy? And then we'd find all the spoons and then we'd walk over to the drawer. We'd put them in the right compartment in the drawer. And in doing these little things, it was a game more to them. But to me, I was starting to teach them how to work and how to put things away and how to contribute to the family. So the question is well, someone might say, well, 3 years old, that's really young. Well, yes, it is. But if you have small age appropriate jobs and you work right with them, it's more time that you spend with them and they don't even realize they're learning. They're just having fun with their parents. So, starting them young, that to me, that's very important. A lady named Marja-Leena Book from Finland, she wrote a book called Children Need Their Parents More Than Pizza in the Fridge. And she says that children become adults, and it's the parents' responsibility to raise them to become responsible adults. So, what are the benefits of setting these boundaries? Well, if you've spent all this time setting the boundaries when they're little, yes, it's a lot of work. But when they get older, they're fun to be with. Your kids are fun to be with. They're kind. They're considerate. You've taught them you've taught them responsibility so they now can get jobs and keep jobs and provide for themselves, provide for their family someday. So I just want to thank you all for listening to this, and I just really want to encourage you to keep showing your kids how much you love them by teaching them when they're young how to be kind and considerate kids, so when they're older, they are kind and considerate adults. Thank you.